Uh, President Lyndon B. Johnson said, poverty must not be a bar for learning. We must understand this fact to be able to provide a better chance to our at success in education to our children. Poverty is a critical factor with great impact in our children's educational efforts. It is my intention today to inspire you to do something to change our community. During my time working for the Ogden City School District, I have had the opportunity to work with many children that are good examples of what poverty does to their educational efforts. Let me tell you about two in specific. The first one, Pablo, he comes from a very, very engaged family and involved family in his education. Pablo is a very good student and he tries very hard to do what he needs to do. But we started to notice how his reading scores were falling behind. So when we asked him if he was following up with his um, reading assignment at home, he said that he was not following up, and he said that the only time he reads at home is when when he has the opportunity to get a book home from the school library. And so after I heard this, I just went and bought some books at at Pablo's reading level, and within a week we saw a great improvement in not only his fluency but also in his reading comprehension. I would like to tell you also about Charity. Charity is another great student. She works really hard and she tries her best, but we noticed that because of limitation in the financial area in her family, she she has not been exposed to to the experience that will provide her with a vocabulary that will help her understand many things that are taught in the classroom. For example, about falls. She in her family there is it's not a chance to go to the University of Utah Museum of Natural History or to Vernal, Utah to learn about dinosaurs and fossils. She has not done that and she cannot do that. And you can see the difference between the kids that have had the opportunity to visit these places and her that did not, because she was a little confused about because she didn't have the experience to read, so she can hold on to this previous knowledge to use it as a base to what the teacher was teaching. And these are two examples of what poverty does to children's education. I would like to share with you two articles that can make it more clear to understand. The first one from June 2015 from the New Yorker, where in this study is reported as overcrowding on substandard housing and other forms of stress as damaging to children's brain as drugs or alcohol abuse. This situation makes the body release a hormone called cortisol. These hormones has the potential to disrupt uh, the development of the brain and cause lower academic achievement on students from poor families. Not only that, if if the mother during the pregnancy is exposed or is living in this stressful environment, also the cortisol from her can go through the placenta to the baby, what will cause later on as the child is growing up and is exposed to the same or similar stressful situation. When it releases cortisol, it keeps damaging the development of the child's brain. And another article I would like to share with you is one that is titled "The Effect of Poverty on the Brain," and it was submitted for www.educationalleadershipdigital.com. And in this article, it explains how poverty affects classroom engagement. The author says that students not in Title I reported higher levels of engagement in class than students eligible for free or reduced lunches. This article also says that children from low-income families tend to eat food with low nutritional value. This poor nutrition affects adversely the gray matter, which uh, makes it harder for the student to listen, to concentrate, and to learn. Related to language acquisition, it says that a child by age 4, a child from a low-income family, have heard about 13 million words. If you compare with a child from a middle class family that have heard by same age 4, 26 million words. And a child from a high income family by age 4 have heard um, 46 million words. And it's amazing the big difference between a high income child and a low income child. Having this in our minds help us understand why students from low income families struggle to understand the words that are used on a daily basis in the classroom. Every day, thousands of teachers go into the classroom with the intent to educate our children and overcome the effects of poverty on and a low socioeconomic status on these children. They know that the students are teachable. They just lack the benefits of a better socioeconomic status. In our school district, for example, is highly impacted. There's a high minority and also very, very low income families. So the school district provides free lunches and breakfast for all the students. But sometimes students attend to come late to school, means they miss the breakfast. My wife tends to have either breakfast bars or pretzels just to make sure that this child that comes late will not struggle with an empty stomach through the first half of the day. And this is something that we all can do, and we can do, and you can do. Maybe you can start with the children in your own, with your children's classroom, making sure that no student goes through the day with an empty stomach, because we already know how hard it is for them to learn. Um, Imagine the benefits for not only the student but also for our community if we can have children that are well educated, because we can do our little part to offset the effects of poverty. I would like to finish Mahatma Gandhi. He said that I have also seen children successfully surmounting the effects of an evil inheritance. This is due to purity being an inherent attribute of the soul. Would you help? Thank you.
Martin, what feedback did you get when you presented it to the presentation center?
The what?
What feedback did you get when you presented to the presentation center?
He said that evidently I know the material, but it will help. It will come across better if I can present it standing up. So, but I did the presentation center last week. So when I recorded it for Saturday, I recorded it standing up in my wife's classroom. I had a whiteboard behind me. It was more presentable.
Okay.
But he said that it will help me if I just stand up and use a better environment.
I could tell this time that you were so much more comfortable with everything. Your stories were really comfortable and they flowed really well. So I don't know if that was just maybe a matter of practice. I know we kind of we didn't throw it together, but we were pressured to give it, right away. So it sounded great this week. Really, really good.
Thank you.
I agree. I like I can see how from the beginning of the class to now you've gained a lot of confidence and in your ability to speak in front of others, and it flows a lot easier for you, and that's really exciting.
Yeah.
And this is a powerful
My
topic.
problem is I can't figure out where to put my notes and where to look. The teacher always tells me that, and the students in the class said I need to put my notes where I can look into the camera as well, but I don't know how to do that. I don't know where to put my notes.
Yeah, it's hard.
Okay, so Carol, do you want to go or do you want me to go next?
Yeah, give me a second. I'm going to have to write the last sentence for this that they told me how to put in.
Okay, do you want me to go ahead and go?
Sure, that'll be great.
You can do that since you've heard this you've heard this already once before. All right, let me find mine here. Okay, you can see me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because what I'm going to try to do is I pulled this up on my computer. And so I'm going to try doing it from my computer instead of from a piece of paper, if that's okay. All right, ready?
I'm sure that will help you with the eye contact. Yep.
Yeah, I'm hoping it does. Okay, so, all right, ready? Every May, our company, Jensen Equipment, treats all of our employees to a Brewers game and a tailgate and cookout before the game. Although we do not provide alcohol, our employees bring their own and buy drinks during the game. One of our employees struggles with alcohol addiction. This year, she brought her neighbor's son, who was only 9 years old, to the game. Usually, our employees are very respectful and keep drinking to a minimum at a Jensen Equipment function. At this game, Jeannie was drunk. All the employees noticed it, of course, and made sure I was aware of it. She decided to leave the game early. As she stood to go, I followed her to the parking lot and asked if I could drive her home because it seemed as though she had had a lot to drink. She assured me that she was fine and everything would be okay. This conversation went on for about 10 minutes. I asked her for the keys and she refused. She became very frustrated with me and offended to think that she couldn't handle getting this young boy home safely. I asked her to text me when she arrived home and we parted ways. After she left, I alerted the authorities, hoping they would cite her when she got into her car. They could not do anything because of their responsibilities at the stadium. I just said a prayer to protect that little boy. She did arrive home safely 40 minutes later and apologized for maybe having too much to drink. I told her that not only did she put her own life in danger, but the little boy's life and all the other drivers on the road. Not to mention, she put Jeff and I in an awkward situation since it was a company-sponsored event. You may listen to this story and think to yourself, I would never drive drunk, and I would never let anyone else drive drunk. This is horrible, terribly irresponsible, and dangerous to everyone on the road. You would never drive intoxicated, and you would never let that happen. Isn't that right? Well, have you ever sent or accepted a text while you were driving? Have you ever checked your phone for any reason while driving? If you have, you have put yourself in more danger than if you were driving drunk. You have been driving intoxicated. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, driving a vehicle while texting is 6 times more dangerous than while driving intoxicated. Drivers who are texting while behind the wheel have a 23% higher chance of causing an accident. The legal blood alcohol level is 0.08% in Wisconsin. This is equivalent to drinking 4 beers and then getting behind the wheel of a car. With 8 beers in your system, your blood alcohol content goes up to 0.397%. That is 4.5 times the legal blood alcohol limit. That is how you drive when you are texting. At enddistracteddriving.com, we learn the facts about driving and texting. There are 3 types of distracted driving. The first one is manual distraction, which is moving your hands away from the task of controlling the vehicle. Number 2 is visual distraction, which is when you focus your eyes away from the road. Number 3 is cognitive distractions. This is where your mind wanders from the task of driving. The scary thing about texting while driving is it encompasses all 3 of these distractions all at the same time. Talking on your phone while driving quadruples your risk of causing an accident. Texting while driving increases your chances of an accident by 8 times. When you are texting, your eyes are off the road for approximately 5 seconds. Everyone, close your eyes, and I will count to 5 seconds. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did that seem like a long time? Would you ever purposely close your eyes while driving for that amount of time, or encourage your children to do so? If you were driving at 55 miles per hour, 5 seconds is the length of an entire football field. Now you may say, well, I'm a much quicker texter than that, but what about that person coming towards you who might be slower than that and is distracted for longer than 5 seconds? What about the person who is coming towards your child who is driving while he is texting and talking much longer than 5 seconds? How good are you really? At distraction.gov, we find the statistics for texting and driving. There are 3,154 deaths each year because of texting. You may think to yourself, well, I thought that would be a little higher. However, injuries due to texting each year are 424,000. That's almost 500,000. This is when people have been seriously injured due to a texting accident. Lives have been altered and changed because someone was driving intoxicated. What can you do to help stop this life-threatening habit? First, you must change your own habits and then help others to change theirs. Here are 8 things you can do to kick the habit of driving while intoxicated. Number 1, put your phone on silence before you get in the car so you don't know when a call is coming in. Number 2, put your phone out of reach and then don't reach for it. Number 3, check your phone before you drive and after you drive and text at those times. Number 4, if there is someone else in the car, designate a texter so you don't have to. Number 5, take public transportation. Number 6, just listen to the radio and carry on a conversation and enjoy your drive. 7, just concentrate on driving. And number 8, you can send an auto text that says, I'll get back to you when I can reply safely. I have a friend who was not killed by a texter, but is one of the statistics of being injured. She suffered a major brain injury that has taken her short-term memory. Her back is now fused, limiting mobility, and her legs were completely shattered. After 1 year of intense therapy, she can walk on her own again. Nikki has a wonderful husband and 4 small children. Her life and the lives of her family has been completely altered, not because she was texting, but because someone else was driving while intoxicated. You would never drive drunk or let a friend drive drunk. Why would you purposely choose to drive and text, putting your life and the lives of others in worse danger? Put your phones down and enjoy life and allow others to do the same. And please don't drive while intoxicated.
I think it's a good speech. I really like it. And the movement is really good.
Okay, so did I do better reading it off of my computer screen?
Yeah, I think you did really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
It really looks like, because well, most of the time I can see that you have your eyes open,
Mm-hmm.
but I cannot see where you're looking at unless when you do this expression that's when I can see your eyes, but your eyes are looking straight to your computer, so it looks like you have a constant eye contact
Oh,
with.
okay. So that's what I was doing wrong. I just
It does help.
Okay, thank you. And maybe I'll
Yeah.
try standing up like you did, Martin, and see if that helps too. Because sometimes I feel like I'm slumping or, you know.
Yeah. No, and I when I re-recorded my speech, I was still sitting, and they didn't say anything to me about sitting, but I like the idea of standing. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know, and I think going to the church is a good idea. I could like write my speech up on the blackboards and record it while I'm looking over my computer. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
Oh my goodness.
I'm planning to go this Saturday because we have to record it again. So this Saturday I'm planning to go like around 9 when they are cleaning the chapel, and just walk into the first room after, check who is vacuuming where. So as soon as they vacuum a classroom and they go far away where nobody can hear the vacuum, just use that room to record it, because if you look at the one I posted from the classroom,
Yeah.
the light was not very good, and people cannot appreciate this handsomeness that I have.
Well, then you better get that lighting fixed, Martin. I want to see a big spotlight on your face.
I agree.
And I'm going to make the room darker to cover this up.
Right now.
That's funny. All right, are you ready to go, Carol?
Yeah. Sorry, I just had an alert pop up about my daughter's appointment, which is next week, and it said it was today, and I kind of had a momentary panic, so I put it on the wrong date. I'm like, I'm sure it wasn't today. We've been trying to get her in for evaluation because she's 10 and she's got dysgraphia, and she has a speech impediment. And it's been being homeschooling. It's really hard to get the support and the testing done, even though we're allowed to go through the public schools. They really want us to jump through hoops that are nearly impossible to be able to get that testing accepted. So we finally got the military to start evaluating her. So hopefully we'll have
great.
Yeah, and she's not. I mean, I have 3 other children with reading disabilities. 2 of them are severely dyslexic. One is just delayed. She was delayed a bit, but I think it's because she saw how hard it was for one of her older brothers to read, that she believed in her mind that it was difficult. But now she's an avid reader. She reads, reads nonstop. It bugs me because I need her to do chores and not just read.
She's reading.
She's reading, so I'm really grateful for that. And all of my kids, even the ones that struggle with PTSD, reading is really important. Struggle with dyslexia, reading is really important to them, and they spend a lot of time reading. So I really want my 10-year-old to be able to have that joy in her life too. So I was like, oh no, I can't miss this appointment. This is like critical. So at least, I look at the calendar. I do have it listed twice. One this week, one next week, and it is next week for sure.
Oh, gosh. So. Well, good. Now you can relax.
All right. So I will probably, it's going to be really, definitely needs a lot of practice, but yeah. I will, I've pulled up both of the speeches that I had written, the one with the personal stuff and the one without, and I'll just combine them. I'll take the beginning of the one, and then I'll continue with pretty much what I had before.
Okay.
So it might go a little bit over because last time I had practiced getting it to about 7 minutes. And then one of the things they told me is that I needed to not, like they said, I started dragging eventually, which is kind of good to know because I felt like I was still pushing it, and I don't want to rush too much. So,
okay.
All right. Post-traumatic stress disorder is fast becoming a generalized term used to define the struggles of countless soldiers returning from war. While the term may be generalized, we need to understand that each individual diagnosed with PTSD is not just suffering from the condition, but is continually suffering from the memory of a traumatic experience that is painfully individual and personal to them. Those experiences are often connected to the names of friends and family. We need to move past the label of PTSD and learn those names connected to their struggle so we can truly mourn with those that mourn and comfort those that stand in need of comfort, thus enabling the power of healing and their lives more quickly and fully. My personal struggle. A light buzzed on the popcorn ceiling above me, dimly illuminating the small bathroom I had been shoved into. Stained, yellow linoleum peeled up from underneath me, and my back was pressed against the floor. My tiny red pigtails cut under my head, and a man above me whispered, "It's okay, don't cry." Fear pulsed through me, and he was lying, and I could not scream. Something was wrong. I blacked out, and the memory was gone. Those flashes of memory have haunted me for decades, never bright enough to show me the face of my attacker or the evil he had committed. I sunk into a world isolated from others. I'm going to cry. Suspended in an emotional shock where I remained for over 30 years. I suffer from what has been medically termed as post-traumatic stress disorder, a condition that supposedly defines what has consumed my childhood and severely impacted my adult life. However, I am no stranger to the term PTSD. My husband was diagnosed with it shortly after his second deployment to Iraq. On January 20th, 2008, my husband returned from a 15-month deployment, a changed and withdrawn man. As a family, we had longed for the day he would be safe at home, laughing, playing, relaxing together with his family. Fortunately, like so many other military families, we did not have the joy of a full reunion. Despite his physical presence in our home, he was emotionally lost to us. The deployment had not only stripped our family of many joyful moments while separated, it had stripped us of the future hope for further joy and the freedom to live without fear. Just 1 year earlier, on January 7th, 2007, he had been in a military convoy heading back to base at the Forward Operating Base, or FOB. The entire convoy had come to a halt. As they waited for an officer, they felt a sense of urgency and fear arise. Eric, his gunner and close friend, swiveled in the gunner's turret for 45 minutes, providing necessary protection for his men. My husband recounted that he felt an urge to reach up and jerk his friend down, but ignored the prompting as it went against all military protocol. Suddenly, a shot rang out from his upper window up a mosque, and Eric slumped forward, his turret still in motion. My husband reached up and cut Eric loose from his seat and pulled him onto his lap. As he held Eric in his arms, his friend's final breath had exhaled from his lungs. My husband said of that moment, I kissed his sword and said, "I love you, brother." And I cried and prayed over him as I dressed his wounds. When they arrived at the FOB, others took the body from my husband's arms, but they didn't recognize him. He was covered from head to toe in the brain matter and blood of his friend. They walked him to the shower and took his clothing away. And as he showered, the drain became clogged with the gore that had washed off of his body, and he looked down and saw that he was in a pool of water several inches thick that was stained with the blood of his friend. According to the Watson Institute at Brown University, 2.7 million service members have been to the war zone, and over half of them have been deployed more than once. At least 970,000 have some degree of recognized disability as a result of war. And round figures, 20% or 540,000 veterans have PTSD and or depression. But healthcare professionals have been much higher, as more than half of those who suffer seek help. Estimates would suggest that more than 1 million veterans have PTSD. To put that into perspective, San Jose, California is the 10th largest city in America and has a population of 1,015,785. Although that number is staggering, it was reached one soldier at a time, and the soldier developed PTSD one experience at a time. Further, I believe that 1% of change in perception of PTSD and thus bring about healing on a much greater scale. In a war, they say that while one may experience traumatic events many times over, there is always one moment that defines a soldier's grief, and all other loss and trauma experiences are created by that first moment. There is little time to grieve on the and when soldiers return home, they have a different experience and struggle to find an outlet. They become isolated and often treatment. and there are countless reasons why soldiers do not seek treatment. They worry about promotion options, societal and peer perceptions, family reactions, and employment opportunities. An article on VeteransUnited.com states, according to a 2010 survey by the Society for Human Resource Management, 46% of employers considered PTSD a significant obstacle to hiring employees with military experience. Additionally, the article highlighted a number of violent crimes over the last several years in which law enforcement and the media immediately sought to link the crime to PTSD. These two examples alone are enough to prevent many soldiers from seeking care. In an effort to remove the pressure of being labeled, some believe that if disorder were to be dropped from the diagnosis, calling it post-traumatic stress or post-traumatic stress injury, the stigma would possibly be erased and more soldiers would reach out for help. Many do not believe that this is a disorder. It is a natural consequence to the conditions of combat and other terrorizing events. If you took the time to ask a soldier what caused his post-traumatic stress, you would not hear a recounting of clinical details laying out the journey into this condition. You would hear about the moment that his perception changed. You would hear the names of friends who never returned, or the moment the soldier was blown up, shot out, witnessed violence, and saw horror beyond description. Each moment had a name that name was not PTSD. It was Eric, St. John, Miles, Cantrell, and other names or stories of personal fear and shattered dreams. Labeling these sorrows and anguish as a disorder has not helped anyone to heal. Rather, it has only veiled their sorrow into a tidy package to be analyzed and processed. Additionally, if you were affected by trauma, if you were haunted by the memories of dismembered bodies, exploding roads, armored vehicles pierced through with explosive devices, and rockets firing down on nearby tents, if you were the soldier that had to pick up the body parts of your friends, what memory would haunt you? Better yet, when you have lost your way home, how would you like to be found again? What name do you want to be called as your loved ones hope to guide you back safely into their arms? Would that name remind you that you were broken, or that they recognize your suffering? Former President George W. Bush has demanded changes in the way post-traumatic stress disorder is labeled. In his opening address at a summit on veterans, we are going to make clear that veterans post-traumatic stress are not damaged goods. They are not mentally shattered. There are people who got hurt defending our country and are now overcoming wounds. By removing the term disorder, we begin to remove the stigma associated with post-traumatic stress, or at least diminish it as best as possible. By removing the term disorder, we not only help remove the stigma, but we change the way we ourselves think about this emotional injury. Our hearts reach out to others more readily when we do not feel unqualified by a clinical term. In addition to removing the term disorder, I encourage you to learn the personal names of their struggles. In so doing, you will truly begin to mourn with those that mourn, for as long as they need to mourn. You'll gain the capacity to comfort those that stand in need of comfort whenever they need comfort. This will bring about a level of healing and support on a larger scale than we have yet witnessed. Let us not just be there for the moment it suits our taste. Let us be there, always willing and ever ready to accept the role of our brothers and sisters' keeper. Okay. That's all.
Okay. So here's what I think. So I went ahead and timed you so you kind of knew how long that was. And it was 8 minutes and 45 seconds. And I think you need to add the stories, because I think that does add a very high level, an emotional level, and that's a lot of the time what persuades people to action. But your argument, like you didn't get into the topic of your persuasive speech until about 5 minutes. And so we heard the stories and we were compelled, but I guess what I'm saying is don't cut out your argument, because your argument is really what you're explaining what you want people to do. So include those stories, but don't cut out a lot of your argument, because even though the stories hook you in, I enjoy the part where you talk about what we should do and how we should do it. Do you know what? Does that make any sense?
Oh, it does. That's part of what I'm with is what can I cut out and where I need to place everything.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess I would say you can't have, and please don't take this personally with your personal stories, because I'm not trying to offend you that way, but I would condense those somehow, keep them emotionally compelling, but you do need to get into your persuasive part quicker.
Okay.
Because it starts to kind of sound more like an informational speech. That's just how I felt when I listened to it.
No, and I totally get that. That's why I really struggled with this.
Yeah, I can understand why you did, but your argument part on what to do is fabulous. So don't cut out a lot of that.
So would it help if I took some of the information, like the statistics, and put it further down, like after my argument or within it?
Yeah, I think you need to state, because your main argument is take the disorder out of PT, right? That's what your main argument is. Let's not name it that. Let's name it something else so we take away that stigma. But that doesn't come up in your speech until at about the 5-minute mark. So then you've only got 2 minutes and you've only got 2 minutes where people go, oh, I get what she's trying to do now.
Yeah, because I think my biggest challenge is finding enough sources to put into the speech.
I think you've got enough sources. I think you've got great sources. Just get your topic out sooner.
Okay.
You know, that is something that whatever people at BYUI told me. I had to adjust. I had to change the beginning of my talk to make it shorter at the beginning, so I can make it shorter, but still add the like when I said, and this is my purpose today, is to inspire you. You know, I have to add that, so right off the back, the audience will know exactly what I'm expecting of them, or what I'm trying to accomplish with them. And then I went on to the rest of the, and so at the beginning and at the end, I expressed what is it that I want them to consider and act upon. And
yeah,
but I guess it helped. I still believe that I need to cut about a minute, but I think I'll be able to do it like today. I felt much more comfortable saying it, and it flowed much better. So it's when I have difficulty either saying a word, that I start like you know, when you try to start the car but it doesn't because it's too cold. So, you know, it's those moments that also takes some time.
Okay, that's what I was trying to say exactly, is you've got to get to your topic faster. So
I agree. So that's why I had all of that cut out. Now I just
Because you know, if it was not for the 7-minute constraint, let me tell you, your talk, your speech is so, at least for me, so engaging and so compelling that there's there's no way someone that is listening to you will not feel like maybe, just maybe, I can do something too. But the problem is that we were given only 7 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. One of the things I wanted to do is, like, with my personal experience with PTSD, I like my working with my therapist. He doesn't address. He's never addressed it as PTSD. He's just always addressed it as, this is what we're struggling with. Let's talk about it. Let's show support. Let's help you get through it. And then I go to my doctor, and he labels me with PTSD, and that's all he cares about. He doesn't even. It was so discompassionate, and I see that that's a lot of what my husband went through. The moment somebody said, "Oh, you have PTSD," that became his label. That became the way they addressed him, the way they viewed him and worked with him. And so it became very halting, and like he hasn't been promoted in a long time because partly because of that, partly because of the self-stigma he has, and partly because of the stigma other people have of it, like dangerous. And so, there's so much information I want to give, but it's hard to figure out exactly what I have to fit in to make that impact in 7 minutes. It is detailed, and I know that I can cut my husband's story shorter and cut out some of that stuff, which will help. But I think I'll have to pray about it and figure out where to fit everything. And maybe the stories, I don't know if those should come first or if they should come further down in the body of the text. I just don't know.
I think you have to hook them with the stories.
Okay.
But in my I am taking a family law class, and I understand the reason why they're putting the time constraints on us, because when you go and you have an opportunity to talk at these different, like at the UN or at these different family council places, they give you about 3 to 4 minutes where you have to hook them and compel them to believe you. And so I can see how important it is. And I mean, when your 4 minutes is up, they cut you off and you're done. So if you didn't get to, this is what I want you to do, you're toast.
Yeah.
So anyway, but it's an awesome speech. You just got to tweak it. So.
No, I appreciate it. I'm struggling with this, so I appreciate your help. This is helping me. I've been battling with it for a while.
Okay, so now I think this is it for us, right? We don't have a meeting next week.
No.
I doubt it. Yeah.
No.
So we have to say goodbye.
Which classes are you guys taking next semester?
Let me look really quick.
I don't know. I haven't gotten that far yet in my life, Martin.
Oh, really? I went ahead and let me see. I am taking. Oh, what are you taking, Martin?
No, I cannot remember specifically the ones I'm taking, but I was just hoping, if we can share the classes we're taking, so we can, I don't know, but just like people support system.
Well, I think we still have each other connected on Google Plus, which is good. But I'm taking Math 108, Religion 200, Science 101, World Foundations 201, and Psych 111.
Okay. I'm down to 6 credits next semester, so I'm taking an upper level communications class. I think it's 2 above this one, but I can't remember what it is. And then I believe it's family, it's a higher level family class too.
I'm taking Psychology 302, Family 220, Family 300, and English, it's something about research and whatever.
Okay.
Sounds like
I have to go to a communications class by myself? Without you guys?
That'd be great.
Well, I appreciate you guys. I've had a lot of fun meeting with you. It's been so nice to have a lot of personal involvement in a class finally. I've really liked it.
I do too. I hope that they do this more often. All of the all of the the surveys that we've done have complained about the discussion boards. I'm like, I like the online things. The online meetings help because you really can get to the crux of the matter and dig deeper than on the discussion boards. The discussion boards are dry and delayed. You just can't get very far with them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
All right. Well, I need to get running since I forgot about this class today. Thank you so much, you guys. Good luck with